At long last, it is time to learn everything about the Switch 2. Okay, I'm gonna start with my predictions for this because I've got a bunch of them. So first things first, I have not paid attention to leaks and rumors. I haven't even watched other people's predictions videos because they probably know something that I don't. So I'm sure there will be plenty of surprises for me in this direct. That said, I do know that the new Joy-Cons have some sort of mouse functionality that was actually kind of obvious in hindsight. I'm not sure how awkward it'll be to use them on your lap, though. Well, anyway, mouse functionality means that there will probably be a Mario Maker 3 at some point, not necessarily revealed today, but we will definitely see the next big 3D Mario game. It'll probably be open world, because open world games are trending right now. I am hoping it will prominently feature Donkey Kong. Mario Odyssey teased the concept, and I want to see it happen. But even if not, I'm sure we'll at least see a brand new Donkey Kong game. Nintendo has been really hyping Donkey Kong up. We will also see a brand new IP along the lines of Splatoon and ARMS, likely taking advantage of the mouse functionality. We will not see a new Zelda. I think it's too soon. We will see third-party support that couldn't be on Switch 1, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe Final Fantasy VII Remake. Here's hoping that the cartridges can hold the full games. I don't want none of that crap where you have to download part of the game, even if you buy the game physical. That is so stupid. The point of buying it physical is to have the whole game physical. But I digress. As for the system itself, I am betting that it'll release in June at a price of $400. I am predicting June because the Switch 1 launched only 2 months after its presentation, and besides that, launching outside of the holiday season seemed to work well with the Switch 1. I'm thinking that the system will be at least as powerful as a PlayStation 4, maybe a PS4 Pro, although I don't know that we'll get that information inside this direct. Nintendo has not talked about system specs in any of their directs. Regardless, we might see some 4K support, though the handheld screen will only be 1080p. I say only, but a little handheld screen only needs to be 1080p. That's still going to be pretty sharp. Let's see, the system will have 256 gigs of internal storage and a battery life on par with the Switch 1. In regards to backwards compatibility, Switch 1 games might receive some sort of enhancement when played on Switch 2. At the least, there will probably be upscaling, but I do not expect improved frame rate, not unless the games are specifically programmed to take advantage of the more powerful hardware. And that is all my predictions. Now we just gotta wait for the presentation to start. Ooh, here we go! The hype is real! By the way, not everything in this prediction will likely interest me, so I will probably cut out my less interesting reactions. This is probably that new IP I was just talking about. Oh, no, wait, it's just a fancy opening for the Nintendo Direct. Is this indicative of the Switch 2's potential? Can we expect visuals like this on the Switch 2? Is it Mario? Is it Smash? It's Mario Kart! Gosh dang it, I forgot to talk about Mario Kart! Okay, it's going to be like the first AAA Mario Kart. Nintendo knows that Mario Kart is a system seller. I don't know that it'll have as many tracks as Mario Kart 8, that would be quite the task. but it's still going to be, in a way, the biggest Mario Kart yet. I'm still a little bummed it's not Double Dash 2. You think we ever will get that? Oh good, we get to see... There's boats? There was Donkey Kong. You think we'll see Pauline again in a new Mario game? Actually, what would be really interesting is seeing Pauline in a Donkey Kong game. Well, so far... Oh! What? What? Okay, well, I'm probably going to play as the cow. I actually used the cow costume in Mario Kart 8. Wait, costumes are power-ups? Or... I don't know. Well, I was about to say earlier, initially it looked like just traditional Mario Kart tracks. Mario Kart World! Gosh dang it, I needed to predict that too!
Hello everyone, I'm Koichi Kawamoto, and I'll be one of your guides for today's Nintendo Direct.
But yeah, those were definitely not standard Mario Kart tracks. Not when you can grind and go on walls without anti-gravity?
The hardware design lead for Nintendo Switch 2.
Hold on, I'm gonna...
What you just saw was Mario Kart World, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2.
I was hoping to turn on captions so we could all know what they are saying while I'm talking. Well, I don't know if those costumes are power-ups, but I'm glad to see costumes.
Exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Welcome to this vast world. Kart races are held throughout various regions that span the globe.
Zebras are now canon to the Mario universe.
Depending on the time of day and weather conditions, the atmosphere will change.
Cool. Nice to see some sort of dynamicism.
And in this Mario Kart game, you can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world.
Open world Mario Kart? I had a hunch.
In the classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for first place.
Also, I saw that you don't necessarily start the race sitting still. It's more like a NASCAR, where you're all lined up and already going.
In each race, the most in series history, the competition is gearing up.
The most in series history? Oh, you mean with the amount of racers on track?
Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another.
Alright, that's cool. I really enjoyed the All-Star Cup in Double Dash, where you play through all the courses.
If you're below the placement shown when you hit a checkpoint, you'll be eliminated.
Interesting.
Can you make it all the way to the finish line? You can also freely drive around this vast world in free roam.
I am down for that. I sometimes did that anyway
You can explore new areas and
in the
routes.
older games.
So drive wherever your heart takes you.
Like, am I the only one who would drive backwards on some tracks in older games?
And even take photos together at different locations.
Oh, are we seeing old tracks return? I wasn't sure if we would still see old tracks.
The entire world starts here. Mario Kart World.
One of the tracks I spotted looked like the airship racetrack from Mario Kart DS. I've been waiting to see that return.
Will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct. So be on the lookout for more information in the future.
I won't necessarily react to that.
Mario Kart World launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Which we don't know the launch day
We'll
yet.
share more details in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it.
I'm sure they'll give a release date at some point during this direct.
Next, we'd like to introduce some of the new features of Nintendo Switch 2.
Please
These are
do.
the Joy-Con 2 controllers for Switch 2. And on the right Joy-Con too, we've added a new...
Aw, it is a C button.
Let's take a look at some new
Well, why did they
experiences with
scrub
our
it out in the reveal? The C button doesn't... The letter C doesn't reveal functionality. They could have just left it at C. I felt so certain it was going to have some sort of icon.
That was you. So quick. Oh no! Wait, no.
So the C button is a call button? Well, I guess some people were expecting C meant call.
Introducing Game
Or chat.
a new feature for Nintendo Switch 2.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Hello?
Wait! This means you don't need that stupid Nintendo app in order to chat online.
While playing a game.
You're still behind me, right?
Like, seriously.
It can pick up your
Who
speed
thought it was a
voice
good
clearly.
idea to require you use your cell phone to chat on Nintendo's service?
When it's noisy around you.
For the record, never downloaded that.
And you can use this feature in
If anything,
Android
I
too,
chat on
letting you
Discord.
easily chat with friends. Turn on game screen
I mean, some people don't have Discord, so it kind of made sense to have the app.
Also share your games.
Except for the fact that they could have had natural chatting on the system itself.
You guys are just dead.
Just let people get a microphone.
You can chat to your heart's content, even while playing different games.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Hard, right? It's tough.
Glad we don't necessarily have to be in the same game.
I'm falling.
You can adjust the size of your game screen.
The frame rate of the other screens is low, but I would have been surprised if they were like 60 frames.
Or expand another friend's game screen.
Which only emphasizes the low frame rate.
Wall that's to your left. You're almost there, It's just like the wall. Like, if she gets past the wall.
This is where I have to do a little.
I feel like I'm screen sharing on...
So
Oh, I don't think it was Telegram. What was Skype? Skype screen sharing.
there's an additional button.
I mean, even at a low frame rate, it's a cool feature.
You can pull up a chat menu.
I'll be right back.
I mean, it would be nice if it were like maybe 30 frames per second instead of
Mute yourself,
5.
more. And there's this.
No.
This camera to the system.
Nope.
Hey!
Nope.
Hey, what's up?
Not doing that. Heck no.
Yo, shit.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Cool that there's some
You can appear on screen.
automatic
And
cropping
then
going
play
on
the
there,
game.
so you can't actually see the room around them.
It was good.
But still no. Oh, wait, never mind.
Looks with just the camera feed.
Nope, not doing that either.
Can you wait for me?
Using game chat.
Nobody will ever see my
Even
true
when you're
face.
apart, you can play
As
games
far as y'all are
together
concerned, I have a
or
pig
together
snout.
In the same room. Play together or compete in online multiplayer games.
It's interesting that they're showing off this feature before showing off more games, so they have to rely on older games to show off this feature.
Competition.
So far, Mario Kart World is still the only Switch 2 game we know about.
All together, anytime, anywhere. Game chat.
The camera you saw in the trailer is
I guess
the Nintendo Switch
it being a
2
C
camera,
button makes sense if
which
it's
will be
for
available on the
chat.
same day as
I was
Switch 2.
thinking C would be confusing because it's not alongside
Switch
A
Online
and B.
membership will be required to use game chat.
Well,
However,
that's no
since
surprise.
we'd like as many people as possible to experience game chat, it will be available without a membership for a limited time. We hope you'll try it out.
Depends on if I have a Switch 2 by then.
Additionally, game chat supports the Nintendo Switch.
On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend and play together. But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game, with Game Share. As
Okay,
shown
that's
here,
cool.
Even games that require multiple screens can be played.
I'm
with one
actually kind of
person
surprised
only.
that wasn't a feature before.
Game Share, you can
That was
temporarily
already
share
a thing
compatible
way back on the
games
Game
with
Boy
others who
Advance.
also have Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch system. You can share a game with up to 3 other systems at a time.
You were limited on how much
Also
content you
support online
could
play with
unlock
Switch 2
whenever
systems,
with only
and
one
you can
copy
use
of the
it with friends
game,
via Game
but it was
Share,
still a neat
which we
feature.
showed earlier. Game Share can only be used with compatible games. This feature is planned for several titles, starting with a free update for Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Nintendo Switch.
Why is it not an automatic feature?
Game Share support is
Well,
also
I
planned
suppose
for
the game has to
select
be
games
programmed in
exclusive to
order
Nintendo Switch 2,
to
so we hope
specifically
you'll look
share
forward
the
to it.
game and
Up
transfer
next.
data.
We'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
Yep,
Please take a look.
it's a Switch 2.
At 7.9 inches, Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen. Here's how that compares to Nintendo Switch. The system's thickness remains the same.
I didn't use my Switch in handheld mode very often,
With
but
approximately
on
double the
occasion I
pixels
did.
compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in greater detail on the 1080p
alright, I was
screen.
right. 1080p. For screens that size, that is perfectly fine.
The screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother
Are
gameplay.
are
in
there going to be
supported titles.
games that reach 120 frames per second? Surely not. Even like Xbox and PS4 can't do
LCD
that,
screen
or
is more vivid
PS5.
and supports HDR, providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images. The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically. Strong
Yeah,
magnets
we
keep
already
controllers
knew about
firmly
that,
attached to the
thanks to
system.
earlier leaks.
Detach your controller easily by pressing the release button on the back.
People are going to test how strong those magnets really are.
The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and control when playing with a Joy-Con 2 held horizontally.
Good.
The left and right sticks are now larger.
And stick out a little bit more, which hopefully means they leave more room for
Joy-Con
mechanics
2
that don't
controller
fail.
Can be used as a mouse to play with compatible games. Both the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls. By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges,
Alright, so
sounds from built-in
nothing fancy
speakers
with the
are
mouse
clearer
controls
and
then.
more natural in handheld and tabletop modes.
I can definitely appreciate the better
It has a
speakers.
built-in
You can
microphone,
tell that the
so you can
speakers
voice
on
chat
the
with friends
Switch
anytime
1
via
aren't
game chat.
amazing.
It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly.
That's good. We don't need to hear the other
Even if
person's
you don't have a
game
surround
while
sound
on voice
system,
chat.
Games can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming from all around you.
I don't always game with headphones, but I do when I'm Let's Playing. So, that sounded really good. I'm actually listening to this on headphones. That sounded
Place your
good.
Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy stand. You can move it freely, like this.
I think I only used the stand once for a few minutes.
In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well. It's handy for connecting a USB-C camera
Oh, that makes sense.
or charging in tabletop mode.
That's even better.
Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage.
As
3 times
predicted.
that of Nintendo Switch for storing your game downloads, save data, and more. Reading and writing data is also faster.
Oh hey, I was right about the 4K support as well.
Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and
So-
enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games. HDR
What did that say
is
just
also
then?
supported in TV mode.
At the bottom it said 4K support supported even for games not supported or something like that? So, is AI upscaling
The
perhaps?
Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool.
What
This
was I
helps
about to
keep
say?
Performance stable.
Well, first things first, I don't even have a 4K TV. I don't even have a
On Nintendo
1080
Switch 2, you
TV.
can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
Nope, I completely lost track of what I was about to say earlier. Oh well. Next game, please.
As you just saw,
Hello.
I like how these people are
Actually inside
having
the
their
game
suits
itself.
untucked.
This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
It would be weird if the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour was on
Standing
Switch
over
1.
here. Okay. Through examining signs like these, you can discover all sorts of secrets about Nintendo Switch 2. Another example, the Joy-Con 2
Am I going to want to do a
controllers have
Let's
mouse
Play
controls.
of the Switch
And when
tutorial?
combined with the gyroscopes, you can even do something like this. There are secrets to discover even as you're playing mini-games and tech demos. Some of the secrets range from the unique features of the system.
So there's going to be little
tiny
mini
details
games
you might
with
not
the Switch
notice until
2?
they're pointed out. There are
That's
plenty.
fine. Nice to have something you can
Nintendo
play
Switch 2
out of the
Welcome
box.
Tour will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh,
Please check it out if you're interested.
never mind. I'm not
now,
that
I'd
interested.
like to share some more information regarding. Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2, you can log into your Nintendo account to use the system transfer feature.
I'm not sure whether I'm going to immediately do that. I might keep my Switch 1 for Switch 1 games, just in case there's some sort of compatibility issue going forward.
Launches Game Chat, and on the back,
Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th.
Oh, I was right!
We're very much
Releasing
looking
in
forward to the
June!
day when you all get to experience it, so please wait just a bit longer.
Some games that were released on Switch will receive upgraded versions that offer things like improved visuals, unique ways to play on Switch 2, and more.
Switch 2
I'd like to
editions.
show you the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree. Please take a look.
Which I don't have yet, so maybe I would get that version.
Super Mario Party Jamboree is getting an upgrade on Nintendo Switch 2. The upgrade expands on the base game and adds new features, including mouse controls,
So, effectively a deluxe version,
audio recognition,
rather than the same game
more expressive
enhanced,
rumble,
but with enhancements.
and game party mode.
Honestly, I don't have
Single
any of the
camera,
Mario
up to
parties
4
on
players
Switch.
can join the festivities.
I've wanted them,
You'll be able to see
but never got
each
around to
person's
getting any of them.
so you can experience all the reactions and emotions in real time.
They really do look
Or
fun.
friends can take the party online. Take a ride on the mouse-controlled carnival coaster.
It is interesting that these are
Lowered and secured.
Switch 2 editions, and not specifically...
Use mouse controls to shoot down
Hey,
enemies while
if you have the game on Switch
rumble
1,
up the coaster.
here's a free update that will allow you to do this on Switch 2.
When you enter a pipe, a mini-game will begin. There's a bouldering game.
Alright,
Two
that's how it
players
seems
each
anyway.
one arm.
Like, do you need to buy the Switch 2 version in order to have the Switch 2 enhancements?
Enjoy the thrill of these intuitive Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Jamboree TV launches on Nintendo Switch 2, July 24th.
I will not be getting the Switch at launch, by the way. Maybe at Christmas.
Can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an upgrade pack.
Okay, that's acceptable. Given that it's
Look
in
forward to a new Mario
extra
Party
modes,
where you can see
that's
each
fine.
other's reactions
It's like
while
DLC.
Let's continue presenting some more Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games. Nintendo Switch 2 editions of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of
I
the
bet you
Kingdom
this means that Metroid Prime 4 is going to have a Switch 2
enhanced resolution
edition.
and frame rates.
Actually, here's what I was really
Also support
expecting.
HDR, which makes the game
Cross-platform
more
games.
vibrant, so you can play with smoother, higher definition graphics.
Like Switch 1 plus 2 games.
Plus, you can get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule using Zelda Notes.
But this is something.
This new feature can be accessed via the Nintendo Switch app on smart devices.
Not using that.
It's a game-specific service that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions of these titles. For example, it can help guide you to various locations, like shrines and Koroks you haven't found yet.
Guidance activating. Proceed north.
You can share your
GBS for
creations
Zelda.
using QR codes and send them to another player to create in their game.
In 300 steps, turn right.
In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, you'll be able to enjoy an additional story.
I have
exclusive to the
not
Nintendo
played
Switch
through this
2
game
edition,
yet.
along with improved
I got
graphics
partway
and
into
training.
the second world and did the thing I usually do
This story
and
takes
lost
place in
interest and
Forgotten
played a
Land
different
after being
game.
struck by a powerful
Really cool
meteor that's
game.
causing some
Would love to beat it
mysterious changes.
sometime.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Well, as late as this game is releasing, you might as well just get the Switch 2 edition.
In addition to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay on Switch 2.
Of course.
Plus, you can explore the immersive world in 4K at 60 frames per second, or enjoy smoother action in full HD
Wow.
at 20 frames per second.
Wow.
Choose from these two modes, both of
Okay,
which support HDR.
I'm getting way too impressed here. This is a Switch 1 game. Of course it's going to be able to do that.
Plus, Pokemon Legends ZA, which is scheduled to launch later this
But
year,
yeah, of course,
will not only
first-person
receive a Nintendo
games,
Switch version,
first-person
but a
shooters
Nintendo
would
Switch
benefit
2
from mouse
edition as
controls.
well. By taking advantage of the power of Switch 2, you can enjoy your adventure in Lumio City with enhanced resolution and frame rates. The Nintendo Switch 2
Alright, well,
edition
when I get
releases
Pokemon
chipsets
Legends
that will be
ZA, I'll
available
probably
as
be
both
getting the
physical
Switch 2
and
edition
digital
then.
versions.
It'll be one of my first Switch 2
And
games.
if you already own the Nintendo Switch version of a game, you can play the Nintendo Switch 2 edition by purchasing an upgrade pack.
It'll be kind of weird playing a Switch 2 game that looks like a
Nintendo
Switch
2
1
edition
game,
games.
but oh well.
Next, I'd like to introduce a brand new game featuring mouse controls with the Joy-Con 2 controllers.
Oh, here comes one of my predictions.
Please take a look.
What is the ARMS analog of this generation? Yep, here we go. So, wheelchair basketball. I know there's going to be a lot of people who appreciate a game like this existing. Okay, this is definitely showing the potential of having mice with motion controls. You can't do that with the regular mice. Well, computer mice anyway. I do not condone swiping regular mice on the ground and tossing them across the room. I do not think they would appreciate that.
In Drag and Drive, you'll use both Joy-Con 2 controllers as mice to intuitively pull off various moves.
The arena
Look forward to a new twist on
is
Leon's
very
using
minimalistic.
dual mouse controls. Next,
Just
here are some games
barren
from
and
publishers
grungy.
development partners coming to Nintendo
It's-
Switch 2.
A curious choice of aesthetic.
I have long observed the lands between.
Alright, here comes that third-party support. Elden Ring.
Dire need of repair.
I didn't specifically say it, but that's right along the lines of what I was thinking.
The rays of grace that guide you.
Well, this is good. The Switch one was starting to fall behind. We needed a next-gen Switch
No doubt
in order to continue getting that
Elden
third-party power.
may you take
And considering how slow to get going current-gen systems are, there's still plenty of games launching that are going to be able to run on the Switch 2.
Here to say that Hades 2 is coming to This planet will be ours.
The sovereign axiom, the Trinitas, has almost...
So I haven't really been paying attention to the visual power of next-gen hardware, so I can't really say for certain whether this is an impressive leap or not.
All children bring hope to our lives.
Wait. That game got a sequel?
Hey, this is Joseph.
It did well enough to get a sequel?
I'm super excited for Split Fiction.
At EA Sports, we're bringing fans
Oh yeah,
across the world,
EA is still a
both on the
thing.
pitch and on the gridiron. We're excited to announce that EA Sports FC will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Well, there's going to be people who are happy about that.
EA Sports.
Were EA Sports games releasing on Switch 1? I wasn't really paying attention. I'm not sure they were.
Hogwarts Legacy to Nintendo Switch 2.
I mean, regardless of what you think about sports games,
You'll be immersed
Nintendo needs their sports games on their systems.
and the new mouse controls on Switch 2.
Captain, is that mic supposed to be on?
I haven't even gotten Tony Hawk 1 Plus 2 yet. Maybe I'll get this instead. I had Tony Hawk 3, had a lot of fun with it. Not sure if I got Tony Hawk 4 or not. I don't think I did. I think I skipped it and got Underground. But, what?
Hello, this is Christian Elverdam from IO Interactive. We are bringing our flagship title, Hitman World of Assassination, to Nintendo Switch 2. As the best assassin in the trade, Agent 47...
Regardless of visuals, the fact that these games are able to come to Switch 2 when they couldn't on Switch 1 definitely says something. Okay, ports are cool. How about a new third-party game?
Plus, we are excited to bring another familiar agent to the platform.
Which agent? James Bond? Max Payne? James Bond. That seems new.
The world's favorite spy is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so stay tuned.
Bravely Default returns, remastered in high definition.
Okay, remaster. I mean, when it comes to third-party support, cool that they are finally getting these next-gen games on Switch 2. But for anybody who already has these games and have had them for a while on PS5 and Xbox Series, they're not going to be as interested. It's more for people who did not get those other systems, who've been wishing that they would come to Nintendo's platform. And there's definitely a question of how many people are there that are only Switch owners. For the record, I am only a Switch owner. I do not have a next-gen PS5. Honestly, the newest PS5, or the newest PlayStation I have is a PSP. And the newest Xbox I have is the 360. I have been exclusively a Nintendo gamer since then. And occasionally PC.
When the Zonai, who descended from the heavens, joined hands with the Hylians, who dwelled on the surface.
Part of the reason for that, though, is because those third-party games don't interest me.
But in time, a terrible evil arose.
Is that Ganondorf?
A war was fought to vanquish.
Oh, it's the next Hyrule Warriors.
Future generations would call.
I was wrong about there not being a Zelda game shown off. What race is that?
You truly have traveled back in time.
That must mean this really is the past.
I only have one Warriors game, and it's Fire Emblem Warriors. And it's still sealed. Maybe eventually I'll get to playing it. So, is that race in Tears of the Kingdom? I've never seen them before. I'm not super interested in the Hyrule Warriors games, but I love that they are now a side series complementing the mainline games.
We hope you're looking forward to the untold story of the Imprisoning War, which took place in Hyrule long ago.
How far back into the past are we going now, by the way?
Switch Online. You can continue to
Because we've been linking to the past quite a few times at this point.
Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. You can enjoy a new membership benefit exclusively on Switch 2.
Do tell.
Take a look at this.
It's not GameCube game. Ah, it's GameCube games. That is another prediction I forgot to make. And it was a prediction of uncertainty, because GameCube controller had these special analog triggers where you press them down far enough, they make an extra click. And that's kind of hard to emulate. Also, Wind Waker? GameCube version? No. No. I'm fine with the Wii U version. I was disappointed by the GameCube version, but the Wii U version is vying as my favorite Zelda game. The improvements they made to the Wii U version was really nice.
Legend of Zelda series enters the fray. Experience a world of white-knuckle racing at speeds over 2,000 kilometers per hour. 30 machines.
Do you think we'll ever see a new F-Zero game?
Death-defying races.
They keep releasing the old games on NSO, but no word of a new F-Zero. All because Nintendo wants to create some sort of new gimmick,
Games that support multiplayer up to 4 can
and they
play
can't
together
think of
locally
any.
or online.
Like, seriously, come on. Isn't just making a new F-Zero good enough? That's what the fans want.
And higher resolution than the original releases.
How much higher resolution? Can you play those in 4K? It would be hilarious to play the GameCube Zelda in 4K when the Wii U HD version was only, what, 720p? Well, you know what? Still cool that that's happening.
Nintendo Classics, the Switch 2
A little disappointed that the GameCube version of Wind Waker is releasing on Switch 2, and we're not getting an updated HD version.
A dedicated controller designed after the original GameCube controller will also be released. It can connect wirelessly and also has a C button to quickly access game chat. The Nintendo GameCube controller.
Yeah, you would just about need that controller to take advantage of some games.
Will also be available the same
I might actually get that
Nintendo
controller.
Switch 2.
Assuming that I play these games.
Or haven't played them before. We hope you're looking
What games do I want to see on GameCube NSO?
Of course.
Oh gosh, dang it! I forgot to make that prediction. Oh, never mind. I thought that was like 1, 2, 3, 4 switch. Never mind. I was not going to predict Deltarune. So that is still in development? I streamed Undertale way back when here at YouTube. Those streams are unedited, just FYI. But maybe eventually I'll get around to Deltarune. I'm just gonna wait for the series to finish.
We're releasing a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Sid Meier's Civilization 7. In Civ 7, you'll
I can definitely see that benefiting from the Switch 2's more powerful hardware.
With the new mouse controls, players can enjoy a more intuitive gameplay experience.
And I mean, even beyond mouse control,
Launches on the same day as
it seems like a game where once there's a lot going on, it would start chugging on the Switch 1.
Switch 2 by purchasing the upgrade.
Or so I assume. I haven't actually played it.
And we have even more news from 2K.
Hi, I'm Lionel Jinks.
And I'm Ben Bishop.
Our final announcement for today is that WWE 2K is coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Plus NBA 2K as well.
Will they be complete editions?
On the court.
I haven't forgotten what happened to 2K basketball on the Switch 1.
They went armed with nothing but youthful enthusiasm and a profound lack of preparation. Boom! Terrible at steering a raft. Let's slay some trees. Awesome! Hook, line, and sinker.
Uh-oh.
Tastes amazing.
Okay, did a quick refresh, and no, this is just how it looks. How unfortunate.
Hi, I'm Dave Crooks from Dodge Roll.
Oh no! It's not just the trailer.
Here's the first look at Enter the Gungeon 2.
Well,
Dodge countless bullets.
I hope it gets fixed before the next big Nintendo
now reloaded
first party reveal.
You can expect
A quick look at the chat. It's not just me. Okay, back to normal. Well, to anybody looking forward to the next Enter the Gungeon, I'm sorry. Oh gosh, it's not fixed. Oh wow, what an absolute disaster. Well, let me try refreshing it again just in case.
Hello, my name.
Nope.
こんにちは。スクエアエニックスの浜口です。
We are busted.
任天堂スイッチ2でファイナルファンタジー7リメイクインターグレードを発売いたします。本作はミッドガル脱出までを描いた。
We need subtitles.
一作目となり、20年以上の時を経て再創作された。
But we don't have subtitles because we're not there yet.
スイッチ2で展開する FF7 リメイクシリーズにぜひご期待ください。
Okay, it's fixed. So I don't know what Final Fantasy stuff they were talking about. Was it remake? You know, it's kind of interesting. This still feels like a Nintendo Direct. Which, of course, is a Nintendo Direct, but I was expecting something more along the lines of the Switch 1 presentation. Not necessarily in front of a live audience, but here's a trailer, here's us talking about the game. Fortnite, gotta have Fortnite. I know there's people who are really excited about the next Professor Layton. You gotta love when a series returns that you think is dead. Rhythm Heaven, for example. It's kind of a joy whenever series like that return. To further go into what I was saying earlier about how it feels like a regular Nintendo Direct, I mean like how sometimes they have these trailers where they're just narrating what's going on instead of some big fancy trailer like this, which the Switch 1 presentation had plenty of. I mean, we had a few trailers like this, Hyrule Warriors, for example. But otherwise, this is just a regular Direct vibe. Still cool stuff revealed, though. From Software is a big name, by the way, so this is going to be something big. Wasn't From... who is From Software again? The Dark Souls games, I think? This is probably a Souls-like, even if it's not Dark Souls exactly. They gotta love character designs like that. How do they see? So, new IP. That's cool. Gonna have to wonder whether games like that are gonna be Switch 2 exclusive. We're obviously not gonna find out in the Switch 2 presentation. Are you like a masked Gryphon? A masked crow? Either way, you look kinda cute. Potentially scary, but non-threatening. I'm not gonna get the game just for the mouse bird thing, though. I'm not really into Souls games.
Please check it out when it's available. Next, please take a look at this.
Is it time for Mario? I think the audio is still out of sync. Okay, this is either the next Kirby game or a Smash Brothers. Is this Kirby Star Riders 2 or something? It is! Oh, I can't remember what the GameCube racing game was called, but something like that. Oh, that is cool. I haven't played the game, but still cool. Air Ride, right. Riders. That's not a confusing sequel title at all. Oh, so that's what he's been working on. Oh, it's probably a relief to work on something more close to home rather than some big, massive Smash game. He needed a break from Smash for sure. That looks like a passion project.
Please take a look.
Donkey Kong? New open world Donkey Kong? Either that or this is the Mario game. Could be both. It's definitely Donkey Kong. So, oh, it's his new style! Oh, I love it. So that's why he looks the way he does in Mario Kart World. Ah! This game had been rumored for quite a while at this point. Glad to finally see it. Wouldn't it be something if we didn't get a new Mario game, but instead this was the Switch 2's flagship title? This looks awesome. I love his expressiveness. Wow. This is why he got a design change. I'm not sure how well the expressiveness would work on the old style. Probably not going to see the Kremlings or K-Roll. Nintendo kind of forgot they were a thing. In fact, that's probably the main villain right there. Donkey Kong Bananza. Kind of like banana. Yeah, I'll probably get that.
That was a brand new 3D platforming action game starring Donkey Kong. Called
So
Donkey
glad to
Kong
see
Bananza.
Donkey Kong back in the spotlight.
With incredible strength, smash through enemies, walls, the ground, and just about everything as you demolish your way through a massive
This seems like
underground world.
the
More
perfect
details will be shared in
Donkey
the future.
Kong game.
We hope you're looking forward to it.
Of course he would have that kind of strength
Thank you for
to
watching
just
so far.
bash through everything. Granted, it could have also been,
To recap,
Wario.
Nintendo Switch 2.
I mean, it involves ingots. Wario likes valuable things.
Finally, here are the hardware options that will be available at launch.
Hardware
We'll
options?
release Nintendo Switch 2, as well as a bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World.
Nah, I'll get the regular Switch 2 and buy Mario Kart World physically.
Please check the official Nintendo Switch 2 website, which goes live later today.
We've covered a lot of information, but that's all we have to share for today.
I mean, still cool to have a bundled
Have to wait
game.
just a bit longer for launch.
It probably will cost as much as buying the game
To
separate.
experience Nintendo Switch 2.
So,
We appreciate you joining us today.
not really
Thank you
that
very
special. It's not like back in the days when you got Super Mario World. So, that's it, huh? We got Mario Kart and, Donkey Kong. I was expecting a lot more from Nintendo. The catch is, I wasn't sure what we would also get from Nintendo. Oh, right, new Kirby. That's right. Alright, well, for the record, I am not actually going to be watching the Treehouse. They're probably just going to talk about the games we saw, and I've seen enough. I'm going to just allow myself to be surprised whenever I actually play the games. Although I'll probably see more of them in future Nintendo Directs. Now, as for the quality of this Direct, did it live up to the hype? No, surprisingly not. I was expecting, like, big Nintendo reveal after big Nintendo reveal. I mean, definitely good to see plenty of third-party support. But we didn't even get a brand new Mario game in there. Which, again, kind of funny that Donkey Kong wound up being the flagship title for Nintendo Switch 2 after Mario Kart World. You know what? I'm fine with that. Good for you, Donkey Kong. You are finally at the top of your game. But otherwise, we didn't see anything other than a teaser for Kirby. We got a Hyrule Warriors game, but nothing else for Zelda, not the next adventure, which, again, I wasn't expecting. It was a little too soon for the next big Zelda game. No Smash Brothers, which also doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, it wouldn't have surprised me if we did see it either. Nothing with Wario. No Animal Crossing. No Pikmin. Honestly, I'm having a struggle thinking about what Nintendo properties could have appeared. You know what, though? Thinking on it, the Switch 2 launches in June. So that only gives us half a year for us to get a bunch of new Switch 2 games. So the amount of Nintendo properties releasing this year actually kind of makes sense. And thinking further, it's not just Switch 2 games we're waiting on this year. There are some big Switch 1 releases coming up. Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid Prime 4. This is not going to be exclusively a Nintendo Switch 2 holiday season at the end of the year. So the amount of first-party content we got shown in this Direct actually does kind of make sense. And what we did see is still pretty cool. Mario Kart World? Gosh, I wish I had predicted that title. I was thinking it. That looks cool. That new Donkey Kong game? It's about dang time. That looks really fun. I am absolutely getting that. Kirby probably won't release this year. Not if they only have a teaser. Or did they have a release date for this year? Maybe they had a vague release date. I wasn't paying attention. As for other stuff, kinda cool that we're getting GameCube, but at the same time, I'm not sure what I want off of it. I mean, I would have said Thousand Year Door, but we got something better than a Thousand Year Door port. I mean, Luigi's Mansion would be nice, I guess. That's also on 3DS, but at this point 3DS has already been dead for a while. Actually, I would love to see Super Smash Bros. Melee on NSO. But we haven't even gotten the first Smash Bros. On Nintendo 64. When are we getting that? I want to play that. It's not, like, amazing like every Smash game after that. It was just a fun little party fighting game. But it was quaint. And I like quaint. I also got plenty of hours into it, despite its simplicity, back on the Nintendo 64. Mouse support is definitely interesting, but nothing super game-changing. Though combined with motion controls, there is some potential to make some interesting games. Here's hoping that the new Donkey Kong game won't rely on mouse mechanics too much. Or at all. Mario Odyssey also had some motion control mechanics that did not work if you were playing the game in handheld mode. They were not necessarily required, but there were definitely a couple moves or so that you just simply could not perform in handheld mode. So here's hoping playing Donkey Kong Bananza in handheld mode, you're still able to get the full experience, even without the gimmick controls. Oh, also as predicted, we didn't quite get to figure out just how powerful the Switch 2 actually is. I'm sure there's going to be a press release somewhere. The fact that Metroid Prime 4 will be playable in 4K 60 frames per second is definitely promising, though. Yes, it's a Switch 1 game, so of course the Switch 2 would be able to really amp up the frame rate like that. But 4K 60 frames per second is such a rare thing, I feel like. Incidentally, as I said, I don't have a 4K TV. My TV is 720, which is also why I only Let's Play at 720. Eventually I'm going to need to upgrade. Speaking of Let's Plays, as I end this reaction video here, I am in fact a Let's Player. At the moment I am finishing up an indie game called Little Kitty Big City. It is a mostly adorable sandbox adventure where you play as an adorable kitty, just going out into the city and doing things. And then next week, I am making my return to Super Mario Maker 2, which I am really looking forward to, and I hope you do as well. With that said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oink!